Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's your guy Coldfire, and today I am going to be bringing you a song by Martina McBRIDE. I know that she is a country singer. I think she got her start in the 90s. Unfortunately, I think it was about mid-90s when I stopped listening to country music a lot. I don't know. It just seemed to, for me, it seemed to lose its luster. Everything was starting to lose its originality, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to say it, but I think the last singer that I can remember that was big in the 90s that I was listening to was Shania Twain and Lori Morgan. That's the only two that and Garth Brooks, I think. That was the only few I knew. But before then, I used to go up on all the country classics. I mean, there was nothing like the country classics. But somewhere in the 80s, it just stopped. It stopped becoming, I don't know what the word is. But anyways, we're going to get in and react to this song. And it says, "This one's for the girls." Martina McBRIDE.
This is for all you girls about 13. High school can be so rough, can be so mean.
Yeah, it can.
Hold on to your innocence. Stand your ground when everybody's giving in. This one's for the girls. This is for all you girls about 25. In little apartments, just trying to get by. Living on dreams and SpaghettiOs.
Hey, but where's the fun in that? You know what I'm saying? I get what she's saying. I get what she's saying. It's a positive message. Basically, stay young while you can, because life is very difficult out there. I chose the path less traveled. Hell, when I was 16, I was out partying with my girlfriends and everything else, and just having a ball. I mean, living large and taking charge. And as soon as I turned 18, we were in the bars and getting people to buy us drinks. They would leave them in the bathroom as we were standing in line. We'd walk in behind them. We'd drink it up. And then we'd throw it away and walk back out. That's how we got our drinks. But we also did some hard times. Yes, it was fun partying, but when you party all the time, you tend to not want to hold down a full-time job, or at least a job at all. But if you don't have a job, you don't have no money. If you don't have no money, you don't have no food, and you're always having to stay with other people, friends, stuff like that. Life can be so difficult. I don't know.
Wondering where your life is gonna go. This one's for the girls who've ever had a broken heart, who've wished upon a shooting star. You're beautiful the way you are. This one's for the girls who love without holding back, who dream with everything they have all around the world. This one's for the girls. This one's for all the girls.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there so I can make some more commentary, because the copyright thing. I have to always do this, especially if you play the video straight through. It will definitely get blocked. But this at least gives it a 50-50. Yeah. I'm assuming that she started in the early 90s, but didn't really get big until like the mid 90s. And then I don't even know if she's still around. I honestly do not know. And it's not just country music. There's a lot I don't even listen to a lot of today's music in general, honestly. I stick with my classics, my Patsy Cline, my Lori Morgan, Connie Francis, Barbra Streisand, Air Supply, Bruce Springsteen, Elvis, the greats and all that. And I felt like the 90s were starting to become really successful for a lot of women singers. Because there was a time in the 70s, I believe it was more about the men and women and all about duets. Everyone was partnering up to do duets in country music. And even in pop music, believe it or not. But the 90s did turn out a lot of female great singers like Martina, Lori Morgan, Shania Twain, LeAnn Rimes. God, there were so many of them. Kelly Clarkson. I mean, the list is just so endless. It was a time where it was like, oh wow, women are dominating country music now. But then it was kind of like right after that men started coming in, and it started becoming a man's world once again in country music. And I think that's what it was. I've always been the type that I've never really liked that many male country singers. I can count probably on one hand male country singers that I actually like. Willie Nelson, George Jones, Garth Brooks. Might not be able to fulfill my other two fingers. Oh my God, I know they're out there. Jim Reeves. Johnny Cash. Yeah. Stuff like that. Now, those are my staples for the men. And there are some other guys that I like, but I don't like all their songs, so to speak. But yeah, this is a great, great song though. I love it. First time hearing it, believe it or not. I did go to the military in 96.
This is for all you girls about 42.
Oh.
Tossing pennies into the fountain of youth. Every laugh line on your face made you who you are today. This one's for the girls who've ever had a broken heart, who've wished upon a shooting star. You're beautiful the way you are. This one's for the girls who love without holding back, who dream with everything they have all around the world. This one's for the girls. Yeah, we're all the same inside. Same inside. From 1 to 99. This one's for the girls.
I have to disagree with her right there. We're all the same inside from 1 to 99. After you get to be a certain age, you start getting arthritis, and you can't do the stretching and the dancing like you used to do. Yeah, there's a big difference. But I'm just being joking right now. Well, she's basically saying we're all still the same inside. We still have that same set of guidelines that we've always lived by. You know, it's there inside of us. Either the hunger to be a singer, the hunger to be an architect, the one to grow old gracefully, the one who doesn't want a line in their face because even though they think this is a part of getting old, but I refuse to do it. And so, I don't know.
Who've ever had a broken heart, who've wished upon a shooting star, you're beautiful the way you are. This one's for the good, who love without holding back, who dream with everything they have, all around the world. Yeah, this one's for the good. This one's for all the good. Yeah, this one's for the good. This one's for all the good.
Well, yeah, that was a great song for not ever having heard it before, which amazes me. Hey Alexa, when did Martina McBride come out with the song "This One's for the Girls"?
Martina McBride released This One's for the Girls on June 9th, 2003.
Ooh. Damn. When did Martina McBride start out in country music successfully?
Martina McBride began her country music career in 1992 with the release of her debut album The Time Has Come on RCA Records.
10, 20. Okay. So I was right about the first part.
Sounds good. Catch you later.
So she did come out in the early 90s. I went in the military in 96. So that's probably why I lost track of this song. Because after I got out of the military, I didn't listen to what was on the radio hardly. Unless I was in retail. But it all sounded repetitious. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that, you know, I think everyone can agree that when you grow up in a certain period, you might be fond of that period of songs, and if it stays going, you know, consistently, progressing but not so fast, you tend to keep up with it more. But if there comes a time where it just you can actually feel the shift way too quickly, you're going to pull back from it more. And the more you pull back from it, the more you lose of that gradually changing and shifting in the music industry. And then once you get so far away from it, it's hard to connect that span of when you stop listening to music on the radio, then when you try to go back to it, it's hard to even understand anymore. But if you continuously listen to it and just take it for what it is, hoping, hey, you know, these 3 songs I didn't like, but I did like this song, and that way you can keep up with the music. If I grew up, I would have loved to have grown up in the 50s, because after the 50s, the music started getting better. It got better in the 60s, it got better in the 70s, it got better in the 80s, started getting better in the 90s, and then for some reason it just kind of flew off the map with me. I don't know. Maybe it was because, you know, I had done all these things what she's talking about way earlier than most people would be, because I wanted to take a bite out of the apple, before anybody else did. And I had my fun time doing it. And then at 20 years old, I was already in the military, and after I got out, and my husband, this year, June 21st, 2026, I make 26 years I've been with him. And after you get married and you settle down, you don't really get to go out to the clubs and do all that stuff anymore, because you don't really feel the need to. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed that video by Martina McBride. I hope it's not by UMG, because UMG is so famous. They did a whole thing on YouTube, guys, about UMG. They control 90% of artists. They will block. And they don't even tell the recording artists that they're doing this. They got a lawsuit pending against them now because of this. Because a lot of these artists out there, they hand their music over to these record labels to control their music. It's like micromanaging. But they don't realize that when we get on here and we react to, say, Martina McBride. I don't know if she's singing or not. But this song is back early 2000s. People probably forgot about it. But people like us that get on here and react to music videos, and people that are listening to other songs of mine that are relevant, might pop in and hear this song and say, "Oh, I love this song. Who is this artist? I need to look them up on my Spotify." And what does that do? That makes her music become more relevant. It gives the artist, more relevancy. But they don't see it that way. They just go ahead and block you. So it's like they don't want the artist to even earn money. Therefore, they don't earn money. So I don't get the big reason why they block. But they do. And it's sad, because I even watched on a YouTube lawyer talk about how YouTube, by the middle of this year, people doing what we do won't be around. That's why everyone's going over to Patreon. Yeah, you do have to pay. I think it's like $1 a month. That's what I got mine set at. Some charge $20, $30. I only charge $1 a month. But any of the videos that get blocked on here, I'll always put "in dispute" beside the song. And they usually give you 30 days to dispute it. If the record company comes back and says rejected, I take it down. I move it over to Patreon. I don't even try to appeal it. Because if you appeal it, you got 7 days. If they come back, you get a copyright strike. 3, your channel gets shut down. Anyways, I love that song. I understood it. She still sounds good. Well, this was about 20 years ago, so wow, time moves by quickly. Anyways, that was Martina McBride. This one's for the girls. I hope that you enjoyed that video reaction. And from the U.S. to wherever you are in this big old world, I send you all my love, hugs, and kisses. See you on my next video reaction. Bye-bye.